right. Thanks you all for being here. Awesome weekend for us, beating Florida State and Miami. Arguably the toughest, one of the toughest road trips in the ACC. So to come out of there with 2 wins, we feel pretty fortunate. And we didn't play our absolute best the whole time, but I thought we played really well, did some great things, and what was really impressive is we just stayed really consistent with our approach on the match and like how we were attacking our opponent. So it was overall very, very positive weekend for us. And then looking forward to next weekend, Wake Forest and NC State, 2 teams that can be up and down, but have players that, can take over. And NC State's coming off a sweep of their rival, North Carolina, who I believe was undefeated in the ACC up to that match. So they're going to be riding high. So it should be a fun weekend at home.
Kind of going back to the landscape of the ACC right now, obviously you guys on top, 6-game winning streak so far. Just what does that mean at this point in the year for you guys to be on top of things and knowing just how tough the conference is?
Well, it really means nothing. So, we're fortunate to be 6-0. I think we've played some really good teams, played Stanford, and then the Florida State-Miami weekend is always circled as a coach, like, can we survive that weekend? So, yeah, we feel great being 6-0, but there's a lot of season left, a lot of ACC season left, and some really good teams that are continuing to improve in the ACC. And, we have this home weekend and then at Pitt and at SMU, which, might take over the Florida State-Miami road trip as the toughest one in the conference.
Do you want to talk about Anna DeBeers?
Yeah,
This weekend?
Anna was amazing. I don't know what her final stats were, but the best weekend of her year for sure. And to do that on the road is very encouraging. And, she was pretty excited getting off the plane tonight. Just felt like she's playing like she expects to play. And hopefully she'll propel that road weekend into this coming home weekend.
Talk about, if you would, I know, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, you got a lot of season left, but obviously Pitt getting knocked off and getting beat, I don't want to say it gives you more hope or anything like that, because you got to play them twice.
Yeah.
What does it mean to string wins together? It goes on the seedings, because you don't have a conference tournament.
No conference tournament.
Just kind of talk about that, put that in perspective at this time.
For us to win the conference, it's extremely difficult because it's just based on your overall record. And then the season is unbalanced. And the way the ACC does it is we are an RPI pod. So you play teams that are similar to the last 2 years' RPI twice. And you play your travel partner twice to save on costs. So not only are you have to be great for the entirety of the season, and one slip up can really hurt you, but you typically have to play the best teams in the conference multiple times and beat them twice to win the conference. So it's a big deal to win the ACC. You don't get 2 chances. There's not a regular season champ and a tournament champ. You get 1 chance, and you have to be good for the whole year. So I think it's quite a feat, and that's how all the conferences, Power 4 conferences, are in volleyball right now. So it's a big deal to win your conference in volleyball.
Is Pitt your travel partner?
No, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
So Pitt and SMU are travel partners. So that's why that's going to be a very tough road trip this year.
Danny, you've touched on this throughout the year, but would you discuss just how much this conference has improved just even since you've been here?
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. I don't even know how the rankings will come out, how many teams are ranked in the top 25, but my first year there were 0 in the top 25 because we were trying to break into top 25 and we didn't have an opportunity to beat anybody. So it was hard to get into the rankings when you don't have a chance to play somebody who's ranked. So now I think we have 6 or 7. I'm not even sure because it feels like there's so many. So just the fact that it's not just 1 or 2 at the top that are ranked, but it's across the whole conference. And then there's new teams getting ranked, and cracking that top 25 is a pretty big deal. Virginia had 2 great wins the weekend before, and they were receiving votes probably for the first time in 10 years. And so it's been pretty amazing to see the change in the conference. It's helped us. It's helped all the teams in the ACC, and we always felt like that was something that was holding us back from a recruiting standpoint is the level of the ACC, and now nobody can say that we're not up to par with every other conference.
Do you think you really have to be undefeated in the conference to win the conference? We did it one time, Pitt did it one time.
I mean,
Maryland did it twice.
Well, not this year, so.
Just following up on that, is it better coaches? Is it more of an emphasis that the schools have placed on it? What do you think has been the difference?
Well, I think it's better coaching. There was a big turnover, a few years ago. Again, maybe not more talented coaches, but hungrier coaches, and I think it's a lot just to do with parity of volleyball around the country. The participation in our sport continues to be the fastest growing women's sport in high school, and so you're getting these athletes that might have been playing basketball or doing a different sport playing volleyball, so there's more athletes for all these schools to choose from. So I think that has helped too. Just the amount of great players is continuing to rise year by year.
Talking about the conference and no tournament, then a couple weeks ago we were talking about RPI. How important, how do you balance it as a coach with knowing, if you don't win the conference, you've got to have that RPI and you want to host, you want to be that.
Yeah.
How do you kind of balance that? And you almost guard against trying to slip up. They talk about in basketball all the time, bad losses. And
Yeah.
and you kind of have to guard against that a little bit more.
For sure, it's tough. We suffered that last year. We had a bad loss in the middle season, and we were the 5 seed instead of the 4 seed. So we know how fragile that is, and it makes every match have a lot of pressure, and like whether you win the conference or not, you still have a chance to host, but you cannot take a bad loss, especially late in the year. And the committee has put an emphasis on teams that are playing great late. And that's one thing I'm liking about this team is that we're continuing to improve, and it seems like our best volleyball is ahead of us. Like, we have not peaked yet, and last year maybe we peaked a little too soon. So this year it's cool to have a different trajectory. But RPI, incredibly important, the number one indicator that they use to see the teams in the tournament.
Danny, you made this a point a couple of weeks ago about this being a good area, a great area for volleyball. I know with Ron at Assumption and the Kiva programs and all that. Just talk about that a little bit and how that, obviously it helps you because you've got a lot of, several girls, Anna, and from Louisville, in the surrounding area.
Yeah, I think, honestly, when you're looking at best jobs, volleyball jobs, or probably any sport in the country, you want to look at the local talent base, especially within a 300-mile radius. So we're really lucky at Louisville that we have so much great talent, and that means you've got great coaches in the area, you've got kids that are playing volleyball at a young age, and so you might not have 10 players from Louisville on our roster, but just the city is excited about volleyball. That helps our program. And it just creates a really competitive atmosphere for these athletes to grow up in. They're used to winning at Kiva and Assumption, and Mava and Union, and so when you get these players in your program, they hate losing. So that's a big perk, is that they haven't lost many games throughout their careers, and they bring that into the college level.
And Providence across the river, as you, I'm sure will.
Yeah, we had a Providence
They're a
athlete
power, yeah.
last year, CC Rush, who graduated. So,
Right.
yep.
Any more questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.